What's up, everybody? Welcome back to C.A.P. And what we're going to do today, we're going to cultivate.
What's up, what's up, what's up? This is Erica J, and we're going to accumulate.
And together we all will
prosper.
This is 1, 2, 3. Season 3 of the C.A.P. Hey, I'm excited. I'm glad to be back in the booth. How's it been for you for this little hiatus that we had since last year, since Christmas break?
Oh, it has been awesome. I have gotten some rest. Even like during the Christmas break, I was able to get like 2 weeks off from work. Then I had a birthday, turned that nice little 48. So it's been awesome. I want to take the time though, because we are in our third season, first episode. Just came off an anniversary last month. And I just want to give a big shout out to our founder and to my co-host, Jerry Davis, and for creating this. It has been a wonderful journey. So big shout out to my co-hosts.
I appreciate that. And I couldn't have done it without you being right here from the beginning. So I thank you for that. And also our producer, Cassius, who's behind the scenes. So without further ado, let's get off into this. The first buzz topic we have yesterday, because today is the first day of March. So yesterday, February the 28th, was the economic blackout due to the resistance of what's been going on with all the rollbacks in DEI and civil rights by Trump. What is your take on it, and did you participate?
I pretty much participated. Now, mind you, the day before, pretty much had what I needed at the house anyway. So the day before, I did not have to go to the store or anything, and don't really just have anything that I just need to get today. So it was just kind of like, I don't have anything to get anyway. But what I loved about it most is the unity of it. Because I'd heard some people talking about it, some like, what's the point of doing this? You're going to go the day before and buy up a whole lot of stuff, and then you're just not going to be there on Friday. So they would have made their money the day before anyway. But to me, it was all about the unity of it. You know, us coming together. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I did participate in it yesterday. When I did go out and get something to eat, of course, like I normally do, it's from a black-owned establishment. People criticizing it, you have to start somewhere. Like, if you don't want to be a part of it, don't be a part of it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it has to be something that goes beyond just one day, but one day is a start. So I see that within itself, but it's got to be much more, but you got to start somewhere. And of course, this generation is not like our grandparents' generation.
Exactly.
So, you know, I look at it as we can't compare apples to oranges, but at the same time, if you don't want to be a part of it, then don't bash somebody else who does.
Exactly.
But we got to take all this seriously, because what's going on is going on. The rollbacks, all of this stuff that's going on is happening in real time. Mm-hmm. And no matter how you want to debate about it in the beauty shop, barbershop, if you love your kids and your grandkids like our grandparents did us, then you'll stand up to do something about it. Otherwise, then don't say nothing and watch what happens, because we're watching in real time what's going on. So hopefully that'll be the start of something even bigger.
I did see too that they are planning some other ones. They have like something that went out, so they are planning more blackouts, and they are planning a day of no shopping at Amazon, no shopping at Walmart. So it's like Walmart boycott, Amazon boycott, and they're repeating these General Mills. So,
but like I said, if enough people do it in full force, it'll make an impact. Yeah. But like, once again, those who don't want to do it, then just keep your negative comments to yourself and then don't do it. You know,
exactly.
It's real simple. The next buzz topic is LeBron James' comments on being the face of the NBA. I'm gonna let you make your take, and I'm giving my take.
Okay. My take may be a little bit short because I know you be real skilled in this area. But I think with LeBron James being the face of NBA, I did like pay attention to some of that a little bit, and he's not really just into that thing per se, but to me, I guess he is kind of the face. He is, I like the way he is with family. I like the way he is with, I lost my train of thought, but I think that it's pretty cool with him being the face of America, of NBA.
Okay. Well,
Excuse me on that.
yeah, I'm trying to see that we see the same interview, but it's all good. The comments that he made was in regards to sportscasters being critical of today's NBA players. And, LeBron, of course, came into the league under the most intense pressure of any expectations of any basketball player. Now, true enough, anyone that knows me know that I am a Jordan and Kobe fan first. But LeBron is my third favorite player, and I give kudos to what he's done because he has played exceedingly over what a lot of folks have. And I get what he was saying. There are some sports commentators who, when it comes to today's basketball players, all they have to say is stuff that's either negative or comparing them to players of other generations. And you got to appreciate the greatness of each generation. Like right now, we're witnessing as LeBron is getting ready to eventually retire, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, these three players all have been criticized before for certain things, but their greatness can't be denied. And so, no, they're in an era that's different than when Kobe and Michael and Magic and other folks had played. But pretty soon, when they retire, the players we'll be talking about outside of Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant are foreign players. Luka Doncic, Jokic, Nikola Jokic, SGA in Oklahoma, and Giannis. And what these players are not American players. Nothing wrong with that, but they're foreign-born players. So I think people need to appreciate this era for the superstars that we have. Some people may knock some of being overly sensitive, but nobody like to be criticized. That's just human nature. So I get why LeBron said that. Because a lot of people do, like he said, shit on certain players. Why would anyone want to take that mantle? But, he's still doing it at 40 years old, which not many 40-year-olds can be in the league playing against Gen Xers and still bringing it every night. So I get it, and I kind of know some of the sports commentators he was referring to without having to say their names, because some folks got real offended by that. So, but shouts out to LeBron, shouts out to KD, shouts out to Steph, because this era, once they finish playing, outside of, like I said, Anthony Edwards, John Morant, a lot of the new stars are foreign. Wemby, Jokic, Giannis, SGA. And so we need to appreciate those guys who are playing now and just stop comparing eras, man.
You know what? I never thought about that before, but you're sure right about it. When they come out, yeah.
Yeah, so, yep.
Wow.
All right, so without further ado, we have a very special guest today on this first episode, third season of the C.A.P. I know this person personally. I've been on her format a couple of times, and she's a woman that wears many hats. She's the voice of transformation, truth, and triumph, a personal development coach. She's a philanthropist, community advocate, founder of the Baxter Initiative. She has executive MBA degrees in psychology and mass communication. 2024 We Care Incorporated Volunteer of the Year. She won the 2023 Pod Box Pitch competition winner. I was there. We was there at that seminar, and then she's the 2023 Audrey Melbourne Women Champion Award. Introducing to many This is Miss Shamica Baxter.
Ooh,
Hello,
yay.
hello, hello.
Hey, you guys.
Hey,
Thank you
lady.
for having me on your amazing podcast.
Thank you
You're
for
good on
coming up
paper,
on.
girl.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
So
it.
besides what I said, tell us something that I didn't mention.
So, should it be accolades or just personal?
Whatever you feel comfortable with sharing. That's
Share with the people.
Okay, so I will share that although I have made it here, the reason I've made it here is because of an amazing village. I'm from the Whitehaven community. I graduated, as I shared with you previously, with a 2.3 GPA from high school. I was told I would not go to college by one of my teachers. And also, I grew up with an incarcerated parent. So, just to hear the accolades read off, it means a lot to me because I feel like I'm the voice of the children that they count out.
okay.
And I feel that I'm the voice of those that they say, oh, you can't accomplish this. So I'm just ready to rock and roll and help and support those in my community to be inspired to do the best that they can do and live up to their full potential.
And that is admirable that you say that, because there's a lot of people who come up in those circumstances, and no matter what they do in life, everyone has a significance. It's all about if you're going to use your significance for something greater than self.
Right.
So I want to ask you, with all that you do, what sparked you to start through my eyes heartbreak of generational disconnect series?
Oh, we got questions.
Yes.
All right.
That's what we do here.
So, for those of you who don't know, Through My Eyes, the Heartbreak of Generational Disconnection is a panel discussion I created basically as a conversation to bridge the gap amongst generations. Have you guys ever heard somebody say, well, I'm grown. I already know that I'm grown.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will say that to their parents, their elders. Basically, I feel like that's just a cop out for escaping adult responsibility. But when you say that, you cut off generational knowledge that could help and support you from going through the things that the people that came before you went through. And I've noticed, as time progresses, we live in a technological era of social media. So a lot of kids are not learning from their elders. They're learning trends from social media. So social media is pretty much raising babies. Before babies even get to interact with their parents, they're being handed iPads. And I feel that generational dialogue is important. And even during COVID, if you think about COVID, think about generations of people that died off.
Yeah.
So we lost grandparents, and a lot of kids are being left to fend for themselves. So I didn't see anything else like it, and I said I'm a disruptor, so I have to create something that's not here yet. And so that's something that I feel is needed. We don't need any more surface level dialogue or conversation. We need meat and potatoes where people can grow and learn and understand that each generation can learn from each other. So that's pretty much what sparked it.
Yeah, that right there is much needed, what you just said, and I commend you on that, because definitely a lot of technology is good, but you got to have a balance. And a lot of children are truly being raised by technology. And of course, it's not too many big mamas and grandpapas like that are left. More grandparents are younger. And some of them just, it's just a lot that plays into that. So I get exactly what you're saying.
That you said too about we need meat and potatoes. I like how you put that, because we need more. We need a lot more. We need, we're growing up in the, just as you said, the technology part of it, but these kids need a lot more. People need a lot more because of they tend to be a product of their environment. And they have, because there are no big mamas and stuff like we used to have, they're not growing up the way we did. We got foundation, and they need that foundation. So that's important. I'm very impressed with the work that you have done through the Baxter Initiative. You've done a lot, girl.
I did a lot.
Tell us about this initiative and how it came about.
Okay, so the Baxter Initiative actually came about in grad school. So as JD mentioned, I went to grad school and got my executive MBA. My background is with helping disadvantaged populations. So I already had a background in helping children at youth villages with behavioral issues, level 4 girls. And then I went on to start my professional career helping disabled individuals finding employment. So I said, I want more so to help and support individuals such as professionals, not only professionals, but college students and graduates in getting into their career field. And, that sparked so the resume piece, interview skills, and things like that. But then while I was doing my work, I realized how many people are impacted by low self-esteem. So with that initiative, I've also been working with an organization called We Care Incorporated to provide mentorship to those kids with workshops. The workshops are college workshops, but it's also building their esteem so that people don't have to go through what I went through. Like I told you guys, I graduated from high school with a 2.3 GPA, and I was told I wasn't college material. Think about how many students are in school and are being told by teachers, you're not college material, and being counted out and discredited because they aren't the ideal student. Think about how many students are getting opportunities because they're the student you like. So I want to give everybody a fair chance. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. A lot of people now, they think I did, but I grew up with an incarcerated father. But one thing my incarcerated father would say, who's deceased, rest in peace, Dad, he would say, man, top of the line, top of the line. That girl right there is top of the line. And he actually was like, you need to be a lawyer so you can get me out of jail. I said, said Daddy. But yeah, we as, I carry I'm from the Haven. Don't get it twisted. So I want people to have, those kids to have a sense of pride and know that they can overcome any challenge that is faced. So that is part of the reason that I created the company, is to empower those that are from our communities who look like us to know that they do have a fighting chance. But the only way that they can be empowered is if we teach them the game. And a lot of them are not being taught the game because their parents don't know the game.
You said a lot in that. And, there's a saying, give a man the fish and he can, eat for a day, but teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. So we have to teach them. We have to give it to them. You can't just let them feel like everything is just going to be handed to you. You have to teach them more for them to grow more. And I like what you said. I had just said right before we started this show that I'm a product of the Haven. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they better recognize about the Haven,
Jerry's like, he can't relate. He's from Chicago.
Well,
don't get it twisted.
I'm throwing this Chi-Town.
They having their Haven reminiscent days.
Where in Chicago are you from?
I was born in the Chi, but I was raised down south. So
what part of?
I was born in Chicago, but raised between Florida and Arkansas.
Okay.
So I've had the best of both worlds. Born in the windy, raised in the dirty.
Hey.
But aside from the Through My Eyes series, you also have a Love, Lust, and Sacrifice series. What sparked that?
Like I said, surface level conversation. There's so many podcasts that 50-50. How many times have you guys heard about, 50-50 and balloon pop? No shade to those challenges. We got the balloon pop challenge. We had a debate online about, women not being humble because they won't eat at certain restaurants. And I felt like, conversations regarding dating and relationships were so surface level, because I've looked at people that have been married or went through a divorce, and there is more to it than just 50-50 and where you go out to eat. Is I'm sick, are you going to go to the hospital with me? It's I have a family member dying. It's infidelities or going through a divorce, who's going, like splitting kids, or who are the kids going to live with. So love is more than just 50-50 in what restaurant you want to go through. And also I read a quote, it said, lust feels like love until it's time to make a sacrifice. And so I said, wow, that's amazing. And so I think God gives you things in season. So when he gave it to me years ago, it wasn't time. And I remember promoting that series and no ticket sales at all. And then in due season, selling out and getting the right people that, I realized that series was bigger than myself. So I started it to spark conversation that was bigger than just the surface. But in the midst of it, I realized the vision took on a brain of its own. Mm-hmm. So even hearing the married couples, I had two married on the last panel. I had two married couple and two divorcees. And one of the married couples, shout out to Danny and Amelia, he was talking about how her brother died and him, like her contemplating, just really just not being here anymore, and him being able to support her in that moment. And that's when I really realized, like, you do, when you get married, you take on whatever challenges that person has, you take on those challenges. Whatever successes that person has, you take on those successes. And it really takes a lot to make a marriage work. And 50-50 and where you want to eat is not, the big conversation. So I started it because I really want people to have knowledge, not from me giving the information, but from, creating a platform where those individuals who have actually went through it and are going through it and getting through it are giving us the information, so that, like you said, you're the cultivate, accumulate, and prosper podcast, so that we can cultivate,
come on,
cultivate informative and transformative dialogue to get us to our next level when it comes to dating.
She came with the cultivate. Okay.
This is what it's all about.
Due season. That was powerful. Mm. That was powerful what you just said. I like that. Now, you have been a strong philanthropist and a community advocate to the youth, which I love. We both have had experience with the youth. So what would you say to a young person looking to follow the path to entrepreneurship?
I would say seek knowledge, and that it's not a cookie cutter path. When you look online, we've spoken about just, online, the online presence shaping and molding what people think is reality. Mm-hmm. Online is skewed. There's no cookie cutter path to entrepreneurship. First of all, you need to figure out, is this right for you, and what is your why? And make sure that it's something that you're wanting to do for yourself, not right. You're seeing somebody else do it and you say, oh, they got the fame, they got the money, I want to do what they're doing. Because it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of pivoting as well, because you may have an amazing idea. You may not know how to not only implement it, you may not know how to capitalize off of it. One of my streams of income is podcasting, but how do you leverage a podcast?
Right.
That has been one of, like, I've been building a brand. I want to say I started brand building like close to 7-8 years ago, and I'm just learning how to make money off of it. So take advantage of the resources. There's a lot of free resources available to you as far as being an entrepreneur. Take advantage of those resources. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. Seek mentorship.
Yes.
Because you don't know it all, and these quick videos. Make smart investments. If you don't have it, don't blow all of your money on an investment, because you will. I've done it. So you will be disappointed. So make sure it's the right path for you, and do your research. I've gotten caught up in get quick, business things, and I've invested money and like, wow, this had no payoff. So research, and mentorship.
And I think that is so important. And it's also so important to learn the name of the game, because even when when we're starting it, we're gonna have some points where we seem to fall, and it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you're learning. You're learning, and with any student, you're gonna have to do a lot of learning, and like you said, a lot of research. So that's very important, and I commend you on what you have even done with the young people as well.
I have one more thing to say. Relational capital. So I actually, I think we mentioned Operation Hope. I don't know if you guys mentioned Operation Hope, but I won a pitch competition. Within that pitch competition, I was awarded $5,000. So TD Jakes, they had a conference in Atlanta, and TD Jakes was one of the speakers at that conference, and he talked about relational capital. So capitalizing off of the relationships you build, not only online, because we pitch online so much, that footwork is going to separate you from the competition. That groundwork outside of the networking online, those in-person connections are what's going to get you to your next level. I met you guys, a few years ago. Guess what? Now I'm on your show. So the relationships that you cultivate and you create are designed to get you to your next level. You cannot discredit people or even where they are at this moment, because God can bless anybody in due season. So don't discredit anyone because they're not what you deem popular, and make sure to keep good blood with people. Don't, we live in a generation of bridge burning. I believe in building bridges, and it takes a lot for me to burn one. Don't make bad business decisions while in your feelings either. Learn how to separate your emotion from business, because you could be burning a bridge that could get you to your next $10,000 just off of you making irrational emotional decisions. So
And that's very sound advice that you gave, because we do live in a time where people burn bridges, people do a lot of things out of emotions. And so and you, in order to make something work, it takes more than yourself. There's going to be some form of collaboration, and you got to watch who you overlook. I often tell people that they can't overlook what God is looking over. So, and that's one of the brain drops I've said before. But yeah. So since you own the C.A.P, and we always ask questions pertaining to the acronym, from college to now, how did you cultivate your experience into the Baxter Initiative and other endeavors?
From college till now, it was to God be the glory. Since we're talking about God, to God be the glory. I went to college just trying to get out of Memphis, just trying to get a fresh start. I say Memphis made me, but TSU raised me. TSU gave me a sense of pride that I'd never had in my life. TSU taught me elegance, structure, pride, and so many things in between. And I'm just grateful for Tennessee State University. I was a mass comm major, and one of the laws, rest in peace, Dr. Page, she was my favorite mass comm teacher. He said, Murphy's Law, whatever can, he talked in that voice, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And so basically he was saying this. So he was saying, if you procrastinate, you're going to fail my class. So Murphy's Law has stayed tried and true to me, because it teaches me to make sure to be prepared. And when I left those doors of TSU, I thought, hey, I'm going to get a degree. Like, I've got a degree, I'm going to get a job. No. Came back to Memphis, worked in a warehouse for a couple of years as a temp. I couldn't even get full time. I'm like,
wow,
I'm a temp. So it came time, God put me in an environment where I was with people who I realized later were hurting, and they needed to be considered with love, care, and compassion, because a lot of people are hurting. They don't know how to communicate that they're hurting, but you can see it in their actions. You can hear it in their tone. And God taught me how to discern that. When my season was over at that warehouse, he released me, and I worked for youth villages, which was one of the most challenging jobs I've ever had in my life, where you really have to be extremely selfless. There are girls that are going through real trauma in real time, and you can't be selfish in that type of position. God gave me that job to show me you can do anything. If you can do that job, you can do absolutely anything. And I ended up leaving that job, and then God blessed me with a company called America Works, which helps disabled people find employment. So I'd only worked for youth villages for 4 months, and then God gave me an opportunity to help start up a division of a company within Memphis. So, helping and supporting them and things of that nature. And then I've been just getting, it gave me the opportunity to network and build partnerships and learn what partnering meant. And it's just ever since then, and I'm not afraid to fail. I don't have a spirit of fear. Like, I really started just tapping into spirituality and really calling on God, and God connected me with the right people. And one of my favorite scriptures is, God opens doors no man can shut, and shuts doors no man can open. Nobody on this earth can tell you what you can or cannot do. When God makes the time for you to walk through a door, it's open door season on the blessings he has in store for you. So spiritually, I've grown so much because a lot of the things that happen in my life, the only thing that I can explain it by is the grace of God. Because, like I said, I was a 2.3 GPA having person that grew up in the Haven with a dad who was incarcerated. A lot of people counted me out, but God. So
Wow. See, you just said a whole mouthful, and it makes me think about, when you get out of high school and then you go to college, and they say, you have to go to college. Then when you get out of college, you get a good job, and it's like you get you meet somebody, you get a spouse, you get the white picket fence, and it ain't that cut and dry. It's not. And it's like you start to get out there, and when you're through with it, it's like, okay, now I have this. And it's like, that's when the journey seems to begin. It's beginning because God's pruning you when you're there in college, and he's helping you to grow up. But then you come out, and it's like that journey begins, because as you were talking, I'm listening to you say, okay, I end up as a temp, but God still had plans, even with you being, in a temporary position, because you're meeting people, and he's showing you, okay, you're showing more and more about people. Then you come over to this next job, and it's like, okay, I got something for you to do here. So it's all a part of the journey. We always talk about the journey, and it's been said so much more lately. We're talking about the journey. And when you think about that journey from where you were to where you are now, it's amazing. It's amazing because you see God all through it.
He's all through it.
The accumulation question, girl. When starting their own business, many look to accumulate wealth, knowledge, experience, and so much more. What have you accumulated along this journey?
Relational capital. I got to take it back to the relationships that I've created. Every relationship that I've cultivated or accumulated over time has blessed me. And a lot of us discredit relationships. I've been given spaces where I was allowed to do presentations or opportunities. And I must say, never discredit opportunity that's unpaid, because a lot of people will say, how much are you paying me? And God may be exposing you to a bigger audience in a season where you have to learn to discern what's worth doing free and what's worth getting paid for. Mm-hmm. Everything is not a money grab. So the relational capital that I've received is absolutely priceless. I've walked into something, and then this person said, I'm going to introduce you to this person. And then this person has an opportunity, and they say, I'm going to introduce you to this person. It's kind of like internships. Like, in college, you get these unpaid internships that get you to your next level. So God, I'm just super great. Like, just reflecting on the questions you guys have asked, I have a lot of great relationships with different people. They have gotten me to my next level. And it's just never discredit the power of a connection.
Yeah. That's powerful in and of itself.
So with all the success you experience, How has it allowed you to prosper?
The mental prosperity. I have prospered spiritually, mentally, because I'm always being poured into. And I've gotten most of my knowledge from those, whether they be younger than me or older than me. I'm always seeking to grow, and I know that I don't know everything. I'm a teachable person. I'm always a student. I don't know everything. And me knowing that I don't know everything, it allows God to break me down to build me up. Gracefully broken. So I understand the power of prospering because of listening. You don't know everything. Even if, let's say I'm mid-conversation and I know, like, you're giving me knowledge and I already know. Sometimes in a conversation, it's best to be quiet because they may be about to give you something that you've never heard before. Also, not interrupting people when they talk and allowing the thoughts from them to flow freely.
Yeah.
So that you can gain the knowledge and wisdom and insight that is going to get you to your next level. You prosper when you understand that nothing is new under the sun. So when you listen to people, when they give you knowledge, don't discredit it, as I stated previously, because of who you feel like they are or are not. Because you can get knowledge from anybody. It can be a drug addict on the street that tells you why you shouldn't go down the path that they're going down. Mm-hmm. And I think when we think of prosperity, we only tie it to money. You can prosper in your health. You can prosper in your marriage. You can prosper in your friendship. So anything, like just seeking knowledge and not being closed-minded to who it comes from has allowed me to prosper.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement you just made, and that is true. So now, Shamica, we're going to move on to the segment of our show where we have a little fun. And this is a first because this being the third season, I added a new game. We normally do pick one or top five, and we alternate between episodes with guests. So you'll be the first guest to do this game that we're doing, which is called What Would You Do? There is a show. There is a show that I like watching. That comes on. It used to come on ABC. I'm not sure if it still does anymore, but it was called What Would You Do? But this is our version of it. So I'm gonna ask you this, and then you just tell me.
I'm listening.
What would you do?
Okay.
Oh, it's nothing. It's
harmless, girl.
Yeah.
You said it.
Okay, so would you take a guaranteed $1 million or flip a coin for $1 billion? What would you do?
A milli, like Lil Wayne said. I'm taking the cool milli. It's guaranteed. I'm flipping a coin.
So you'll take the
Yeah,
million.
because it's guaranteed.
So you ain't no risk taker.
Not like that. That's guaranteed money. Come on now. No. I'm taking the $1 million.
Taking the $1 million.
Of course.
Erica?
Whew. You know what? I was sitting here as soon as you said that. I'm like, okay, which one am I gonna do? I'm kind of topsy-turvy. It's possible that I may feel like, okay, I'm gonna just take this $1 million. I'm gonna take this $1 million, but I believe in that power of prayer. You know what I'm saying? I believe in it. I believe in it. And I'm like this. Right now, I won't say I don't have anything, but I don't have $1 million and I don't have $1 billion. So in this 50-50, there's a chance that I might get it. And I've become more of a risk taker lately. So I might be one to actually try for that $1 billion. Who knows? I might just get it.
No for me.
A risk taker.
Give me the $1 million.
For myself, you can't really miss something that you don't have. Now, even though they're going to tax that $1 million, it's still more than what I have right now. But that 50-50 chance for $1 billion is intriguing because that's like really generational change in money. But, and I tend to be somewhat of a risk taker, but at the same time, looking at how things are in today's society, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take that guaranteed $1 million, then try to flip it
That's right. Come
You know,
on.
That's a good idea too.
yeah. So that yeah. So that's what I would do.
I'm the risk taker of them all. Okay. That's good. That is good. That is good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
like,
doing these. I love doing these. So now it's my turn.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Here we go. What would you do? Would you move to Texas for your dream job? Or would you stay here in Memphis with your significant other because that's your boo and you have finally found the person, you feel like you finally found that person? What would you do?
I don't want to move. I like Memphis. I would stay here. Most people, why y'all looking at me like that?
Oh, no.
Oh,
What?
quit. I was like, well, can you reserve your judgment?
I'm not looking at you like anything.
Y'all looking at me like, oh, you're not judging me.
Not at all.
There's no judgment zone here, man. You do
None.
what's for the best for you.
And you gonna see why? Because when I answer, you gonna understand.
Yeah, I would stay here in Memphis because I feel like you can create your dream job. If you're an entrepreneur, you have an entrepreneurial spirit. And then also, I want to kind of elaborate on why I said I would stay in Memphis. I think a lot of people discredit the possibility of becoming rich in the city because I feel like it's so many open doors and open opportunities that people aren't doing here yet. And if you have an innovative mind and an innovative spirit, there's a lot of lanes you can create here. So, I don't want
JD?
to move to Texas.
Would I move to Texas for my dream job, or if I had someone, would I stay here in Memphis? Well, it actually depends on if she ain't acting right. If she's not acting right and we going through and it don't seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, Eric Perdue said it best. We see each other next lifetime.
How you
But
Like
on the other hand, if things are going well, and you're gonna always have issues to come about, and me being an entrepreneur mindset that I have, if what I can do there, I'm able to do here, then I would stay here with the person that I'm with. But that's all. Like I said, that's if that was the case. So it just depends on the scenario. I'm gonna be honest, because if we ain't on good terms and things are just going downhill, and I have an opportunity there in H-Town, it's like ain't no sense of us. You love me, you want to see me do good, right? But really, like I said, if that's not the case, then so it's just contingent upon what the circumstance is. That's just how I look at life. It really contingent, because if it was the other way around, I would want her to look at things like that, and because if you don't, then somebody ends up, feeling some kind of way towards somebody later on. I could have, and I don't need you saying that because you was a grown person. You had your own mind to make your decision. But if things are going well, and which you're gonna have your challenges, but overall they're going well, and I can create the same opportunity that's in Houston for myself here, and I will stay here. But if we, if it's a Keith Sweat song, what's really going type stuff, then hey, I'm gonna go ahead and keep on down that yellow brick road.
Yeah. Now, see, I can honestly say that I feel the same way as both of you said. But I know that, I thought about this because there's so many movies out there where you have like the man and the woman, and it's like, if you really believe in what I'm doing, then you'll let me go and all of this. And I'm like, some people think like that. Now, me, I'm the person, like I said earlier, I love to create. I love creating, and I love, creating my own space. And so I feel just like you. My dream job is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can do that right here in Memphis, great. And if it's time for me to go and do more with it, then I would go. But if I have a significant other, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be somebody who's creative too. And he's going to be somebody who's ambitious, and hey, we can do this thing together and make it do what it do.
There you have it.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to the next segment, which is a banana peel. But before we do that, to everyone that's watching, that link that's below,
Right there.
send your questions to the CAP Podcast 3 at gmail.com. The CAP Podcast 3 at gmail.com. We would love to receive your questions. And who knows, your question may be picked for us to look at and give you some sound advice. So without further ado, with the segment of the banana peel.
Okay. Let's get with this banana peel. And before I do, okay, those of you who are watching, you see that nice little red box right there? It's right there, okay? Go on and click on that box and subscribe to the CAP Podcast, okay? Go and click on that thing right there. I'm going to give you a second. All right, there you go. Thank you for clicking. All right, here we go with that banana peel. So he says, my lady and I have been together for 2 years now. Great relationship and chemistry, but one of her girlfriends is a chronic cheater. They have been friends since college. I've expressed my concern to my lady about this. Her response was, you don't trust me. I'm my own woman. Am I being unreasonable? What should I do? This is coming from Abdul in Lexington, Kentucky. Phew, okay, Abdul. We gonna, as Jerry say, peel back this banana. So listen, I wouldn't say that you're being unreasonable. And I feel that in relationships, we have to be able to, we always say, have the conversation. We have to be able to communicate. And if we see something that's an issue, it's a good thing to go ahead and nip it in the bud, talk about this so that we won't have problems later. So no, you're not being unreasonable. It is something that needs to be discussed. And, but I would say also understand your lady too, because she is a chronic cheater. So maybe talking to her about taking the time, if this is her girl, maybe she will listen to her. Maybe your relationship can be influence. Maybe she can be an influence, and you can talk to her about being that influence, because her friend doesn't have to influence her to cheating or anything, because if she's with you, if you have a strong foundation, then you're going to continue to have that. But have that discussion, continue to talk to her about it, and help her to see how you are seeing this situation, because maybe you guys can learn. The friend can start to look at your relationship and learn from that.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, Erica. I'm going to take a little slightly different take. Hey, man, check this out, Abdul.
When it's the man.
I get what you're saying. And actually, what if this was the other way around? Like, what if you was hanging out with a guy that, even though he may be your friend and was a chronic cheater, yes, she's her own woman and you have to trust her and she has to trust you. But we also know in this world that, sometimes birds of a feather flock together. Sometimes things can rub off. It doesn't mean necessarily that it will, but, you just want to be mindful of the company that you keep. I don't know too many. I don't know of too many married guys that constantly hang with single guys. That don't mean they don't have friends who are single, but constantly, just especially the ones who they know get down like that, because they understand, like, man, it may be a time where I'm upset with my spouse and I'm hanging with somebody and we done had some drinks and he introduced or whatnot, and it's still a personal choice. So when you express that to her, you've already expressed your concern with it. Yes, you have to trust her, but then just allow her to see what if that was the other way around. And, from that point on, be like, just be mindful of what you're doing when you're hanging with your girl. And, what about your friends who are not doing that? I get it. They've been friends since college. And you don't want to tell a grown woman or anybody that's grown who they can or can't hang with. But you just want them to be mindful of who they're hanging with, because all it takes is that little door, that little slit in the door. When you angry, or when she's angry, when someone is angry, and a person like, see, come on, girl, just let's go hang out and, get your mind off him or whatever. Not to say that she'll do that, but I mean, you're not being unreasonable. And the only thing you can do, man, is just trust her. But put that scenario to her if it was the other way around, and just ask her to be honest on how she would feel about that. And you take her for whatever she says, but just let her know that's the only reason why you mentioned this. You do trust her, but you just, what about her friends who don't do those things? So we're going to ask our esteemed guest, what's her take on it?
Ooh, wee.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of agree with you both. With the whole birds of a feather scenario, but also more so trusting your mate, because I think we are creatures of patterns and habits. So I think if somebody's cheating on you, you'll definitely know. And a person can hang around people that don't cheat, and they could be the cheater out of the group. So just because your friends don't cheat doesn't mean you're not a cheater. So, and then what if she has a cousin that cheats? Is she supposed to cut off her cousin? What if her mom cheats? Is she supposed to cut her mom off? Come on now. You can't cut off the world just because, there are bad people in the world who do irrational things. And that would be more so of a personal question, and it would put it back on the individual. If you feel that there's a concern and you don't want to deal with her being friends with her, you can always dump her. Not to say that it's right and not to say it's not extreme, but we, at the end of the day, ultimately get to pick who we choose. So you giving a person an ultimatum, you can always exit, not to be mean. I know it sounds kind of harsh, but it is like, you don't have to stay with the person if they're not fully who you want.
Well, I guess I hear what you're saying, which is exactly what you're saying.
Maybe I'm being harsh.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I don't think it don't appear that he's giving her an ultimatum. He's just expressing, because if it was the other around, you can bet like Don Cornelius used to say, you can bet your bottom dollar that woman would say, hey,
I got a question.
Hey, your friend, yeah, I got some reservations. You hanging out with him as heavy as I trust you, but
how does he know she's a crunch? Like the girlfriend said, "Ooh, my girl, she cheating again." Like, how does he know?
Well, obviously that wouldn't put in the letter, but it must be some way that he
must
knows.
Be cheating a lot that he knows.
Must be. I mean, because I'm pretty sure they're in Lexington, Kentucky, so Lexington is not as big as a city as Memphis. But here in Memphis, folks can, with the way social media, and then folks who know each other from going out to certain spots and going up, like you all, the Haven you was talking about earlier, and people from Orange Mountain, people and stuff get around quick.
You know what?
And they've been together 2 years.
You kind of changed my thought a little bit, because it doesn't just say cheater, chronic cheater.
She said they've been, him and his girl have been together for 2 years now. So, but this has been her friend. Yeah, this has been her friend since college. So he's been with his girl for 2 years. She's known her before him. So I'm pretty sure somewhere she mentioned, like, Jasmine, that's my girl. They'll be doing some activities, but that's still my girl. And it ain't like dudes don't do it. So he's probably like, oh, okay. But we can only go by what he said in the letter that he emailed.
But chronic means a lot.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Chronic means someone got habitual.
That means it's repeated.
Yeah.
So when you and Jasmine going out, what y'all do? That's something to think about, because when is she doing the cheating? Y'all going out, enjoying y'allself?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He's he's expressing his concern to his lady, like, when y'all hang out for girls' night, whether it's just y'all two or some friends, and he knows this about her, anybody would be like, hey, just I trust you, but because the other way around, a woman would be like, look, I trust you, but is this the only one you hang out with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna just throw the movie out. Y'all remember How to Be a Player?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's
So
classic.
hey,
That's it.
Abdul, I don't know, because I feel bad for our fictitious Jasmine. We're giving her that fake name because we don't know the lady's name. But Chronic just changes the game. Like now that we've kind of dove a little deeper, Chronic means this is happening repeatedly. And when
Right.
when my girl and you are going out, I'm gonna have to pop. Nah, I want to tell the brother to pop up.
This is like great dialogue, and I hope you are really listening to this,
'cause
Abdul, because you've gotten some great, solid advice here. So really think about that, and really think about your relationship. Because even in listening to JD and Shamica dialogue about this, you got to think about, okay, think about your relationship. Like, okay, because if she is telling you about this and you're seeing this for yourself, so ask her, what does she think of, the type of things that her friend is doing. Get in her mind a little bit. See what she's thinking about this too, because, okay, so that she does this, and I know our relationship is good and everything, but what do you think about what she's doing? Because then when you start to see, well, I don't see nothing wrong with it, then,
I think it's
okay.
hard. It's just hard.
Yeah.
We'll leave it off as this, Abdul. Just tell it, don't slip up. You know what I mean?
What does slipping up look like?
You got a lot of advice, Abdul. A lot of advice.
Abdul, just tell it, I love you, but don't slip up.
Don't miss the signs, Abdul.
Yeah, so, hopefully
This
that
is
helps
good.
out Abdul. And
I feel so bad.
anyone else, like I said, out there, you send your questions to the CAP Podcast 3 at gmail.com. And we're definitely, who knows, your letter may be picked for us to read and give you some advice. So now we move on to the segment where we allow our esteemed guests who has been on here today. We've had a great podcast to let all of our viewers and listeners know how they can reach you for your services, what new things you got going on coming in the near future, and all your social media handles where they can get in contact with you.
Okay. Hey, how are you guys doing? So I can be reached at Dear Shamica pretty much on all social media. That is DearShamica. And if you want to book services, you can email me at shamicalbaxter@gmail.com, SHAMICALBAXTER@gmail.com. I currently do hosting. I do workshops, whether they be self-esteem workshops, professional development workshops, personal development workshops. I do guest speaking engagements, and I also do content creation. So if you're one of those individuals that need content for your brand, that is a service that I actually provide as well.
Awesome.
Awesome. So you all have our listeners and everyone who follow the CAP. She's just giving you information how to get in contact with her about her services. Any new ventures coming about that you want to mention before we move on?
Okay, as of 2025, I've been hosting a lot more. A lot of people. This is new to me because I'm used to hosting my own events, but now people have been booking me to host. So if you need an MC for your event, yeah, I like liveliness. I like making people feel good about themselves. Y'all know I have that background so basically how we help with the kids with youth villages, how you get them to kind of, I want to say snitch, how you get them to not get in trouble is building rapport with them. So I love making people feel good at these events. I love hyping people up. So book me for your next event. If you need a hype person, if you need a personal hype person, if you need a rapper, I also rap. So I got a mixtape coming out, so stay tuned for the mixtape.
Okay, with the mixtape.
Why you looking like
I mean, you Whitney Houston, you every woman.
I know Whitney Houston.
Every
This
woman,
is Future
hey.
Hendrix over here.
Yeah. So
She said, I'm every woman.
It's Future Hendrix.
Yeah. So that's what's up. That's what's up. So
He's not believing me.
This has been a great
It
show.
definitely has been a great show. The first show of 2025, season 3. So now we're moving on to the detour moment.
Hey, okay. What's up, y'all? Let's go for this detour moment. Before I begin, if you're looking for a life coach, an experienced life coach, if you're looking for someone to speak at your next workshop, your next conference, at your school, to your girls' basketball team, I am your lady. You can contact me at Ephesians6pro@gmail.com. That's Ephesians6pro, Ephesians, the number 6, pro@gmail.com. I also have a new web domain, so that is www.erica, ERICAD, as in Denise, Jackson, JACKSON.com. So I have changed from www.eph6productions.com, and we are www.ericadjackson.com. I am on Instagram as ejizzle, ejizzle34, I believe it is. I'm gonna check on that. And also as E6 Coaching, and also Ephesians 6 Productions. And I am under Facebook as Erica Jackson, Ephesians 6 Productions, and E6 Coaching. So right into this detour moment. And that is, we hear often that if you're down to nothing, God is up to something. When I wrote my stage play Detours, which of course began with Detours 1, it was about a young lady who had reached to the point of nothing. She had no job. She was losing her friends. She was divorced. So all these different things going on. But in the course of this time, in the course of this journey, she found love. She found herself. She found so much more. So just know that in whatever you are going through, God is still in that situation. And sometimes it's just a part of the journey. The detours are hard, but they are necessary for the journey.
That was some good information, Eric. Definitely appreciate that. So it's time for the brain drop moment. But before I give you your brain drop, if you need a speaker, a host for your panel, or any men's group, any singles group, anything of that nature, I can be reached at the link below, Linktree/Jerry Davis. You also can reach me at authorjdavis@gmail.com. Like a book author, AUTHOJDavis@gmail.com. I'm also on social media on IG as Life Coach Jerry Davis, and Facebook as Life Coach Jerry Davis. So definitely book me to come speak. Like I tell folks, I'm not a pastor or a politician, but I have something to say. So without further ado, the brain drop for today is: don't question your worth, understand your value. Don't question your worth, understand your value. A lot of times people matriculate throughout this world feeling that they're not worth anything because they haven't ascended to a certain status that society puts on people, whether it's financial, whether it's fame or whatnot. But the value that you bring to your family, your friends, or anything that you're connected to, whether you hear it consistently or not, it's worth it. Because if you're still living and breathing, that means the good Lord is not finished with you. So you have to know what your value is, what you bring to anything, business or personal, and just keep operating from that. Don't let anybody make you feel like that you are a cheap can of tuna, that you are not the supreme, that you're not something that you are fine cuisine, And so don't question your worth, understand your value. That doesn't mean be arrogant about it, but be confident with it. And stick your chest out and walk that walk and do that thing, until you get to where, you're supposed to be in the blessings that the Most High have for you.
Speak that, JD.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. So this has been a great show today with our guest, Shamica. Thank you for coming on here. It's always been, I've been on your platforms a couple of times, and we've always had lively discussions. So you brought it here today. Found out some things I didn't know. And
Yes.
but we appreciate you, and we're looking forward to some collaborations in the near future.
It has been an absolute amazing show today. I've also had the opportunity to be on your show, and so it was nice for us to bring you on in.
I appreciate you. It was an amazing. This is a phenomenal show. I mean, everything is excellent.
Thank you. So without further ado, as we end this episode, everyone, like I always leave you with, if you're going to be anything in life, be for real. This is JD.
And this is Erica J.
And signing off, let's get captivated, people. We'll see you.
C.A.P Media.